Hi there. So I'm recording a short session here to bring the experience of Kriya Yoga, um, the terms Ishavara, Pranidhana, Svadhyaya, and Tapas, a better understanding of how these tools are used for transformation and transformation from the inside out, where we observe and notice our samskaras, our patterns, our habits and tendencies that transpire in our day-to-day life, but they also show up on the mat, and they show up in the way we practice our yoga. So I hope this gives you a better idea of that when we seek to change, when we seek better ways of living, that we can know that we are held by a divine force, by a loving being, by loving awareness, self-compassion, love, whatever it is for you, that you know that your habits, your patterns, your tendencies are from a lifetime of influences, and that seeking change takes courage and love. And so Ishvara Pranidhana is that yogic term or condition or recognition that part of transformation is knowing that you are loved and in all that you seek. So let's try a practice. Let's try a practice that way. All right, dear ones. Follow me to the mat. So just take a moment to find a comfortable seat. And just holding for a moment that recognition that we can come into the space of the heart. Maybe we hold Padma Mudra. And just linking the base of the hands, the little fingers and the thumbs, and just letting the lotus bloom right in front of the heart. Take a moment to settle, to soften, to smile inwardly at your efforts and your courage. And as you settle into the heart, just allowing that loving awareness that the heart gives to expand outwardly and hold your practice in its embrace. We might open the palms and just let the open palms rest in the lap for several breaths. And just kind of coming to an intention here, that aspect of ourselves we're working on and that we're looking to maybe burn away the tapas, the habit that's not serving us well anymore. It's kind of taking us out of balance. So maybe this habit or tendency might just be we're stretching beyond our energy levels. We're busy. We're doing too much, and we're thinking more is better in our practice as well. Let's see how that shows up and see if we can just observe, be aware, and let it go. It's that feeling of letting it go, coming back towards balance. Let's just observe the breath. Just observing your natural breath as it flows in through the nose and out through the nose. Just observing how the inhale gently feeds into the exhale, and the exhale gives to the inhale. You might observe if the pacing of the breath, if the inhale is longer than the exhale or vice versa. We'll start to create a sama vritti, sama meaning same, equal inhale to exhale. Trying to breathe. Maybe bring a hand to the belly and one to the chest. Trying to expand into some subtle breathing into the belly as you're breathing in longer and slower. Maybe filling around the lower ribs. Without strain, giving to the exhale, gently contracting the belly slowly. Everything very subtle and slow, deep in the belly. So the next time we take our subtle breath, our long, slow filling and creating some volume inside, maybe 6 counts in, expanding around the lower ribs, pacifying the upper chest and neck, pausing for a count, exhaling, gently contracting the belly, slowly exhaling, and pausing at the end of your exhale. And making sure that our effort is in balance with ease. We're not pushing the breath. We have a pause at the top of the inhale and a pause at the end of the exhale. You might even notice at this point if some thoughts, emotions come up about letting go, just letting go of the over effort and just coming back to balance. And we'll continue with that breath, maybe about a 6-1, 6-1 breath. We'll see if we stay with that pattern, taking our inhalation, reaching the arms out and up, pausing, hands come down to center as you're exhaling, pausing. Start to notice if your energy feels agitated or pushing. See if we can let that go and return to our breath just as it is, maybe letting go in some other way in our effort. And this time, bringing right hand to the floor, left arm up and over, taking side bend. As you slowly stay with your breathing in transition, do you start to feel like you want to effort? Holding as you exhale. You're ready to take that breath in, reaching all the way up. Pausing. Other side, exhaling. Do we feel like we have to put more into it to make it a practice, or can we let go of it? Soften our elbow, soften our shoulder, soften our neck. And we'll come all the way back down. Following that pattern of breathing, starting to circle. Maybe we stretch our legs out. Let's go ahead and just take a slow circle. So maybe we support our back, breathing in 6 counts and a pause. Breathing out 6 counts and a pause. Do we have any judgments, thoughts about how we should look in our motion or even about our body that distract us from our intention to just balance effort and ease? We give ourselves permission maybe to make it even smaller. If our breath starts to feel labored, if we start to bigger breathe, gasping or gulping air, can we slowly, can we make it smaller? Maybe our chest is just moving in very small circles, overriding that habit of continuing to push, even when our body is telling us we've overextended. God, we might pause. Just take a moment. How's our body responding? Did the heart rate increase? Did we lose our connection to our breath? Let's go ahead and move into a kneeling posture, table, right? Bringing the table posture for cat and cow. Continuing with our breathing and our observation, our Svadhyaya, just observing ourselves as we take our breath, looking forward, breathing in, pausing at the end, exhaling, 6 counts, rounding the back, finding the pause at the end. And the breath is creating an intention here, a pace. The muscles, our habits of being want to take us beyond our breath. You might pause. And maybe take our hips back into child's pose. Take a moment to check in. Observe. Let go. What are our thought patterns about how useful a practice is when we slow down effort and balance with ease? We might transition on our in breath, nice and slow, because we're aware of this movement into downward facing dog. Good. Did the breath get larger as we move and make more muscular effort? And we let go at a point before the breath starts to become labored. And coming back into child's pose. Observing the body, observing the mind, observing the breath. Maybe our mind is wandering different places. So when we try or we work on that Svadhyaya, that self-study, our mind wanders. It's okay. Just notice that. Just come on back. Know that that loving awareness is with you and holding you. And maybe we come into a spinal balance and extend the left arm and the right leg. And taking a few breaths, we start to Feel that greater efforting in our muscles, the Anamaya Kosha, physical layer. And stay with our breath and find the edge of our effort with ease. Balancing effort throughout the body, not just in one place. Maybe we try the other side. Common stories that come up about how much effort we need to make in order to have value or worth. And just notice those, right? And then let them go. Listening more to our breath. So I'm going to take some barrel rolls of the chest, so just circling here. Observing where you can balance that effort and ease. And if you lost connection with that loving awareness, coming back to that devotion. Starting to notice the body and preparing for transitioning to standing. Right? How do we transition in a way that we stay with our breath? Waking up to this moment and sensing our energy. Let that exhale come all the way out. Pause. And breathing in halfway up. And a pause. Exhaling out. And a pause. Coming all the way up. Maybe we make our movements really small. If our breath is starting to become labored, making our movements smaller. Bringing our hands to heart. And Padma Mudra. Some of the stories that come up about how many poses we need to be in or how many activities we need to do in order for our efforts to be valuable and worth it. Just noticing that. Stepping wide on your mat. Maybe our size of our posture is smaller. Maybe it's a little larger. But as you breathe in, turning toes to the left. And exhale out. Finding the pause. Slowly starting to slide into triangle. Studying, observing, witnessing the effort in the body. Does it feel a balance between all the joints? Does the breath support you? Is raising the arm. Take our breath beyond our 6-1-6-1 rhythm. We need to back off a little bit and slide up. And all the way up. Turning in, observing. Hand on the belly, hand on the chest. We have a layer of agitation. Or are we finding the exhale completely surrendering? As we observe these thoughts, emotions, and experience, we start to have tapas. We burn away past patterns by being awake and aware, right? We study and then we surrender, right? Knowing all that we do takes courage to change. As we transition and come back to neutral and pause. Good, observe. And we might link our hands behind our back, roll the shoulders back, taking the in breath a little taller, pause. The out breath hinging at the hips, coming forward into Prasarita Padottanasana. Observing 3 breaths, lifting the arms away from the back. Notice the habits or patterns, the placement of your feet, observing the effort of the legs, the back. Is there a strain anywhere? Can we build our architecture to support a balance between effort and ease? Do we put our body in a place of strain in order to create a perfect pose? Where do you need to be to find balance? As you notice your body in transitioning, observing the pattern of the breath, coming back up and stepping in. Coming to mountain pose and checking in. We start to tense the face, the neck, the shoulders in order to keep our breath on pattern. Can we soften something else? Breathing in and breathing out. And we'll shift our weight over to one foot, coming into Vrikshasana or tree pose. Maybe sliding the right foot into the ankle. Rising through our central channel, taking several breaths to build that posture slowly. If you notice any judgments, expectations, you just be with the breath. Observing a fall, a shift, a change, a transition to the other side. You might even start to let your pauses in your breathing become a little bit longer. And in that space, discover what's there. As you linger in the space between exhale and inhale. So we start to burn away urgency and the need to do and move to the next task. And we let go. Just take a deep breath. And let it go. Right, maybe a swan dive forward, and we'll stay in our forward bend. Pause. You might reach behind your ankles. You might just let your arms hang. Stay with your breath within your range of your energy. Can you find the pause? See what's there. I notice for me, I really want to feel into a stretch even more, kind of pushing into it. And do we really have to, shape in a way that pushes? Can we let go in some way? Slowly shifting our shape back down to the mat, whatever way works. Coming to our cross-legged position. Just breathing in and out. Let's return to our breath. Creating voluminous space on our in-breath around the lower belly. And on the exhale, gently contracting our belly in. So make a little more effort. We're going to lean back, coming into Navasana, right? So a couple options, maybe just lifting one foot Are you holding here? Maybe we lift both. Do we have to shift our breath to hold on? Can we find a little bit of just contraction in the low belly and stay with our even breath without building a bigger breath? Maybe the feet are still on the floor and we're just slightly leaning back. And we can close our eyes. Feel there's effort happening, right? But we're staying in our breath. And we might come back up, cross the legs, release. Let's come all the way onto the back. Hugging the knees into the chest. Just giving yourself a little rock side to side. You have some other intention or some other quality you're observing about yourself today, holding it in a loving embrace. So come back to neutral and bringing our feet to the floor. So a new shape here. We might move into a variation of bridge or Setu-asana. Slowly starting to roll up through the spine. So let's start to move into that hip bridge. Finding each vertebrae. And maybe take the arms with you. Pause at the top of your inhale. 2 counts. As you're exhaling, slowly bring yourself back down. Just maybe a 6 count exhale. Pausing at the bottom. 2 counts. Beginning to rise again. 6 count inhale. Pausing for 2. Lowering back down. Pausing for 2. This time we're going to take ourselves, roll up through the spine again on the in-breath, slowly finding that 6 count inhale. Pausing this time a little longer, maybe up to 4 or 5 counts, holding or suspending the breath. And as you're exhaling out and taking your hips back down, another 6 count lowering. And retain, suspending the breath out. Maybe up to 4 counts as you hold the breath out. We'll just kind of let our knees fall out to the side. Bring one hand to the belly, maybe one to the chest. Reclined bound ankle. Let's move into that breath with suspension and retention. So maybe 6-4, 6-4 breath if that is available to you right now, and just exploring what's happening in those pauses. The pause is where we digest and assimilate and notice the after effects of our breath, our experience. As you come back to your natural breath, you might just extend the legs out, coming into Shavasana. That full expression of Ishavara, Pranidhana, or surrender. As you allow the earth to just hold your body and the after effects of your practice, of observing how you feel. Maybe the practice was a lot different than you normally do, and you were kind of burning away some patterns of push and effort, and finding new patterns of ease, and staying within your energy pattern or your energy reserves. But whatever you noticed, you can know as you surrender here in Shavasana that you are held in a loving embrace. It's when we fully surrender and let go, and we allow those changes to further assimilate into our being. Through Vyanavayu and Samanavayu, digest and assimilate of our newfound patterns. You might just stay in Shavasana for quite a while to bring the changes into your being and the beauty of your yoga practice, of the practice of Kriya Yoga, where we seek not just to transform the physical body, but to transform the subtle body down to the mind and emotions and pathways of our and energetics of our being. So we can do this in a very gentle way through Ishavara, Pranidhana. Namaste.